Good morning, beautiful people. Good morning and happy Friday. It is finally Friday. Today is March 5th, Friday, 2021. As Pat McAfee says, 2021 years after, he says 2021 years after zero. So today is a Free Think Friday, as most Fridays are. For those of you that are brand new on a Free Think Friday, I don't really have a big, huge plan on what I'm going to talk about today. Some of these end up being my best episodes. Sometimes I just ramble. Um, During the week, I put a lot of thought and a lot of research into the episodes of what I'm going to talk about and make sure that it's relevant to what's been happening in society lately. On Friday, I just use my biggest superpower, and that's just talking forever without stopping. And I just let my brain take me wherever it goes. I think this is maybe the third or fourth Free Think Friday, and I want you guys also to know that I'm not like BSing when I say that. When I say I actually have no idea like what I'm going to talk about prior, and I do my best not to come into like a Free Think Friday going, "Oh, that's exactly what I'm going to talk about," because to me that's cheating. Like it's supposed to be kind of like a mental exercise for me and just go see what comes up, see how long I can talk, see how many subjects change, and see what happens. So as ritual goes, let me take a drink of the lucky water, and we're going to get right into this beautiful Friday. All right. So the first thing we have to talk about, we got to talk about the man that's trying to change 2021 for the better and put us on a better track. Drake dropped 3 songs yesterday. The world knows. Everybody stayed up for that. If you didn't, you missed a lot. You were asleep during I'm about to gas it a little bit. You were asleep during a historic moment, a moment that'll never be forgotten over the course of history. But no, it wasn't obviously like that deep. He just dropped Scary Hours Pack 2. He made them like say, or when I say made them, he probably switched it up at the last minute because one of the songs leaked. I actually heard one of the songs early. You never know what's a real leak and what's not. So I did listen to it, and I'm sick that I did because it was the real song. But it was reported that Scary Hours 2 was going to have 2 songs because Scary Hours 1 had 2 songs. And those songs, if people don't know, like, what is Scary Hours, it's just like what Drake releases, or in the past, it's what he released to get everybody ready for Scorpion. So Scary Hours Pack 1 is how we got God's Plan and Diplomatic Immunity. He always releases like a song that's like a banger, and I don't think I've ever said banger, but you guys get it. Like one that's a hit, and then he releases one that's like to just get everything off his chest. He could just rap, and he did that again, but he released 2 hits, and then one with a song with Rick Ross where he just was airing everything on his mind. I believe that the songs are called "What's Next," which is the one that leaked. He released them in threes, and he released them on Sirius XM radio on like a new radio station that he has, OVO Sound Radio, like Sound 42. I don't know the station or anything like that. I don't even have Sirius XM, and it was free on my computer. Me and my cousin stayed up and listened to it. So the first song was called "What's Next." That was the leaked song. Then the next one was, I don't even know. I'm not going to try to remember them and sound like I know everything. I'll look it up. So the first one was "What's Next." The second one was "Wants and Needs" featuring Little Baby, and the third one was "Lemon Pepper Freestyle" featuring Rick Ross. And Rick Ross was talking his mess on there too. Like he was getting his ish off his chest on that one. So that was like, that made my night. I was exhausted, but I was falling asleep before they came out at 12. But I stayed up for the big man, and I was not disappointed. So I'm definitely hyped for the new album. Once again, for those of you that don't know, Drake's, what would this be, his 6th studio album? His first one was Thank Me Later, Thank Me Later, then Take Care, then Nothing Was the Same. you can, and then there was If You're Reading This Is Too Late, so that's 4. I don't know if you want to count What a Time to Be Alive. They did as an album for his contract, but is that a Drake album? So if you just say a Drake album, 4 was like If You're Reading This Too Late. Then was Views was 5, and then 6 was Scorpion. So this will be his 7th studio album, Certified Lover Boy. It was supposed to be released January 2021. Drake hurt his knee or his ankle or whatever he hurt. He got messed up playing basketball in his home court. Literally his home court. He has a full court basketball court in his house. And he messed that up, so he said he was going to release the album later so he could focus on rehab. And a lot of people call it BS on that, but when he's in quote-unquote album mode, his last, like, 2-ish weeks, last month, you could say, he does a lot of tweaks and adds a lot of songs. So I can understand why, if he got hurt in December, January, he's like, I can't release the album right now. But whatever, he's going to release it, and I'm hyped for it. It's about to be springtime, and he just released some like spring hits, and they're probably going to go into summer, and I'm here for it. And I guess a good segue on to go from there would be to talk about, like, I don't really do ranks and all that as far as like rappers and this and that, but just general artists. I'm just glad that we got to see Drake is one of the biggest artists of all time. I don't know if he's ever going to be the biggest. I don't think anyone will ever be the biggest over Michael Jackson. I think when you're doing these categories or these rankings, you just have to say everyone else besides Michael Jackson. Like, you might be able to, it's arguable. I wouldn't even give it to him yet, but it's arguable. You could say, well, he's the biggest artist of all time besides Michael Jackson. But I don't even know if I'd give him that yet, because there's just so many genres. People sleep on Miss Adele. Miss Adele, I can argue as one of the biggest artists of all time. I knew Adele was it when my stepdad, and he's like real hard, real like muscle, a man, like manly man who you would think like oh, that's like you would get his persona if you met him. He loves Adele. For Christmas or for his birthday or something, he was like asking us, like, hey, we asked him, what do you want? He just said, I want the new Adele album, and I want it like the hard copy. I don't want it on iTunes. I want the new Adele album as a hard copy. And he loves Adele. So that's when I knew, Adele is massive. Because for those of you that don't know, I think all of Adele's albums are diamond. She's like the only artist to ever do that. Not ever, but like she did it very, very fast. As soon as she releases albums, we celebrate, oh, this person went platinum in a week. Adele has been going like diamond in under a year. And for those of you that don't know the difference, platinum, gold is like 500,000 copies sold. Platinum is 1 million copies sold, and then diamond is 10 million copies sold. And to give you context, Drake, who, like I said, is considered one of the biggest artists of all time, I don't believe he has any diamond albums or anything. I think singles can go diamond too. I believe maybe the Hotline Bling or One Dance, probably One Dance if I had to guess. One of those has gone diamond, but for a whole album to go diamond is a massive, massive, massive accomplishment. I don't think that Drake has had even like one of those. 50 Cent has 2 diamond albums. I believe Adele has like 3 or 4. I don't know if Beyonce has one. Like, I don't know the research on that, but it would be very hard for me to believe she doesn't have a diamond album. Because she's been out for so long, it wouldn't blow my mind if one of her like 04 or 06 albums, whichever album had Single Ladies, it wouldn't blow my mind if she went diamond. If I had to guess, all of Michael Jackson's albums are diamond. He's been out since he's been a solo artist since the 70s and 80s, and babies still listen to his music right now. Every single album of Michael Jackson is probably multi like diamond, doubled. I don't even know if there is a double diamond like 20 million, but I know he's probably double, triple, whatever diamond. I kind of want to Google that now. Most like diamond. And like I said, overall artists, you would have to include probably someone like Whitney Houston and Britney Spears and like people that ruled their era most, and I don't know much about like country artists and stuff, so I'm sorry. But even like someone like the Beatles, I know they probably have most diamond albums. Oh yeah, I forgot about Marshall Mathers. Eminem has diamond albums too. As of this thing was written. Why am I forgetting the word of article? This article was written March 1st, 2017. Forbes said there are now 22 artists with more than one diamond album. Adele, Jesus. So it says, here are the 22 artists with more than one diamond album. Garth Brooks has 7. The Beatles have 6. Led Zeppelin have 5. Excuse me. The Eagles, I don't know who they are, I'm sorry. The Eagles have 3. I've heard of everyone else besides them. I've heard of Garth Brooks, the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. I don't know who the Eagles are, I'm sorry. Shania Twain has 3. NSYNC has 2. Tupac has 2 diamond albums. Adele has 2. Backstreet Boys, Billy Joel, Britney Spears, Celine Dion, Def Leppard, I don't know who that is. Dixie Chicks, Eminem, Madonna, Mariah Carey, Michael Jackson, Pink Floyd, Whitney Houston, Van Halen. Michael Jackson has 2 and Garth Brooks has 7. Jesus. But individual artists, like the Beatles is a group. Garth Brooks, I've heard of his name before, but whoever he is, he has a fight in the best artist of all time. Just because I don't know his music doesn't mean like he can't be in there if he has 7 diamond albums. And people who consider the greatest artist of all time, Michael Jackson has 2. So, but it's not always about numbers. It's all about impact. Who knows your name? There is not a human being alive across the entire world that does not know who Michael Jackson is. You could go to the outskirts of Siberia in a hut in the snow, and they know who Michael Jackson is. And that's not an exaggeration. It doesn't matter where you go, people know that man's name everywhere. I think Garth Brooks is American, and I don't know who Garth Brooks is, so that says a lot. 7 diamond albums, I mean, that's cool, but he probably has the same people, and I'm not, you guys know what I mean by that, but I just want to leave it at that. He probably has the same people over and over buying his albums / listening to his albums. So it says, as of right now, Adele is the youngest current member of this group, as both her albums 21 and 25 have been certified diamond in the U.S. But I think that's the only album she's ever released. I think that's another thing that goes into it. If you don't have 7, let's say he released, I'm just going to make up a number. Let's say this person, Garth Brooks, has released 12 albums. That gives him a better chance to have 7 diamond albums. But if he's 7 for 7, then I can't say anything. But I think, let's say Adele only has these 2 albums. If she's 2 for 2, then I mean, that's huge. She is, I don't know if 19 is it an album? 19 is the debut studio album by English singer-songwriter Adele. I don't know. This one is not diamond, but that besides her debut album, Adele is back to back. 21, which was released in 2011, went diamond, and then 25 in 2015 went diamond. So that means she's about to be 31. She need to release 31 or 32 immediately. So, and obviously Michael Jackson has more than just 2 albums. I don't know how this got into album talk. I guess I was talking about the greatest of all time. Oh wait, no shade to the Queen, but I didn't see Beyonce's name on here. She doesn't have a diamond album. There's no way. Oh wow, and Drake's not on here as well. But this was written as of 2017. Let me see if there's something that I can do, to really look it up. Most diamond albums. List of best-selling albums in the United States. The highest selling, the biggest selling album of all time is the Eagles. I really don't know who that is, who they are. Do they have some, what are their greatest hits? Do I know one of their songs? Country rock. You guys gotta have a song that I know if you guys have the biggest selling album of all time. There's gotta be one. I know all kinds of music. There has to be one. Where's their... Let me go click the album. What are their greatest hits? I don't know any of these songs. Yeah, I don't know any of these songs. That's all I'm going to say about that. It's a country rock album. I don't know any of these songs. Even if Michael Jackson doesn't even if Michael Jackson doesn't have a 7-time diamond album, everyone knows Thriller, and that's all I'll say. I'm gonna leave it at that. But I just want to find, like, there has to be, because that was written in 2017. So maybe by 2020, maybe Drake and or Beyonce has one. So I just want to see this. Maybe Beyonce and Drake collectively aren't as big as I thought I was in that. In how do I want to say this and be nice? All parts of the world. But I know, yeah, it says Adele. I'm just wrong. I just Taylor Swift is on here. Fearless. Wait, but that's not a diamond album. Fewer than 10 million copies. Yeah, that's not a diamond album. They're showing me the hot list of best-selling albums in the United States. But I just want to see, does Beyonce have a diamond album? That's not how that works. Maybe they're saying this one was written. I don't know when that was written, but that article wasn't correct. It's to show you guys what I was reading. It says Beyonce 4 is now certified 3-time platinum in Brazil. Why #Beyonce reaches diamond collection 160,000 units, becoming her second album to achieve this, following the double diamond 320,000 units. I Am Sasha Fierce. That 320,000 units isn't diamond. I don't know who wrote that. They're saying Garth Brooks has more now. Garth Brooks has 9 diamond albums now. Since 2017, he got 2 more. Whoever his following is, they just love him. Period. Beyonce does have a diamond album now. Dangerously in Love has sold 11 million copies, making that a diamond album. Does Drake have a diamond album? Yeah, they're saying he has Diamond Records. God's Plan. God's Plan did go diamond. One Dance went diamond. I know his records are because he does hits. But I want to know about the whole album. His highest one so far, from what I can see, is maybe views and... Yeah, from what I can see, it's views. Views has gone 6 times platinum, so that means it sold 6 million copies. So he would have to sell like another 4 to go diamond. But I don't think views is going to sell that many. But most of the people that go, like, that have, for example, the Eagles, they're the best-selling album of all time because it's their greatest hits on one album. So whenever they decide to make a Beyonce greatest hits and Drake greatest hits, all that, then those albums will go multi-diamond. I know they will. But it's so weird trying to even talk about who is the most, like, and it transcends artistry or music, if you want to say it like that. Even in sports, it's so hard to say who the best ever is at something, because best is opinionated. So, like, it all depends. What do you look at? The numbers, the impact, the name recognition. What do you look at? Because in the United States of America specifically, I know there's not a soul that doesn't know Beyonce and Drake's names. Like, everyone knows that name. Like, period. It doesn't matter if you're black, white, Asian, Indian, doesn't matter who you are, you know the names Beyonce and Drake. You could be 97 or you could be 5 years old. You know, especially Beyonce. I'll give her credit. Like, a 5-year-old might not know Drake if you say his name or whatever. They'll be like, "Who's that?" But if you say Beyonce, boy, girl, doesn't matter. They know the name. But I mean, same thing with like I said, same thing with sports. I was having this conversation. I did a whole episode on it, so I'm not gonna go crazy on it right now. But I was talking to my cousin about it yesterday, about the whole Mahomes Brady thing that just happened in the Super Bowl, and why I still think like Brady will be the forever GOAT. I don't think he'll be able to be passed. The short version of that is, I said, if you compare it to basketball, we compare Michael Jordan and LeBron James right now because we never got to see them play. Like, we never got to see them play, and we wish we did. But we just got that in football. Like, Pat Mahomes is LeBron James of football right now, and Brady is Michael Jordan. And I know it's huge different sports. Football, you have 53 people on the team. Basketball, you have 11. And you only have 5 people out there on the court, or rather, with both teams, 10. You have 10 people on the court at one time. And basketball, you have 22. Football, you have 22 at one time. So obviously, you need more help in one than you do the other. I get that. I completely get that. But just look at it from that perspective. Take away the actual sports and blah blah blah. Take away that. We just got to watch Jordan versus LeBron. If Jordan ever beat LeBron, didn't matter the age, didn't matter what LeBron did after, doesn't matter who comes after, we'll always be able to say, yeah, but Jordan beat LeBron. For example, if Zion Williamson, who is like the new, people are saying he's the new LeBron, and he's blah blah blah, or even Luka Doncic, Trae Young, all these new guys, like, they're coming up, right? And people are like, maybe one of these people will be the GOAT. Even if they are, and they can try to be the GOAT, Michael Jordan beat LeBron. The people that they were saying, or rather the person that they were saying will dethrone him and he's the next this and next that, the real GOAT, like, beat him. So it doesn't matter who comes next or what happens next or who achieves what, because on the tail end of his career, when he was on his way out the door, he beat who people were saying was next. So that kind of just solidifies you as, there is no one better than me. It doesn't matter who you guys put in front of me. I'm better than them. I beat them every time. So that's my argument for Brady. It doesn't matter to me if Mahomes does everything, unless he can go and achieve something crazy like 10 Super Bowls, which is I don't think will happen at all. I think realistically he'll get like 4. Maybe max 5. He's not getting to Brady has 7. He's not getting to 7. I don't think anyone will ever get to 7 again. People don't understand that whole teams. The NFL has been the NFL for 100 years. 100 years. Through that time, whole entire organizations have not gotten more than 6 Super Bowls, and this one man has gotten 7. He himself has more Super Bowls than entire organizations. There's no Mahomes or no one else is going to get 5, 6, 7, and maybe 8. Someone said maybe Mahomes could get 8. So no, that's not going to happen. So yeah, Brady is the forever GOAT. That's in my opinion. He's not the most talented of all time, like Mahomes or Aaron Rodgers or John Elway or Marino. One of them might go down as one of the most talented, but it's not. He's not the. No one else will pass him as the GOAT. And if you transcend that back to music, like I was just saying, it's so hard to do because Michael Jackson, I don't think that's even arguable. I don't think anyone argues that. Michael Jackson is one of, if not the most talented artist of all time. Look at the way he danced, the way he sings. He was a director. He was an actor. He was he played instruments. He's probably the most talented person of all time. And I don't think that's arguable. But he doesn't have the numbers or whatever to back it up. Like this Garth Brooks guy with 9 diamond albums. And I mean, same thing with, there's just with music, it's even harder. You can try to break it down in somebody's category, like, oh, who's the best rapper, who's the best pop person, but even that by itself is hard. But that's just who we are. We're built to try to compare or whatever. Also, and I don't want to focus only on music or whatever the whole time, music and comparisons and all that, because I've done that in other episodes. But so I'm going to see where my brain goes, because I actually don't know what I'm about to say next. But in current event stuff, I believe, from what I saw yesterday, I heard two different things yesterday. I follow this guy on YouTube that like updates me on the news every day. He does like 9-minute news. He calls it your stimulus update. And he said, this is your news report and your stimulus update. And then he talks about what's going on in politics and whatever. Because for everyone that knows, I don't really care for politics, but they matter. So growing up, we were kind of always taught like to stay out of politics, don't talk about it, whatever. But the politics are the ones that are controlling our lives. So for me to say that the thing that is controlling my life and my paycheck and everything else doesn't matter would be blatantly incorrect. So if you're not already trying to learn about politics and what's going on in your life or around your life, then you got to do better. So I can't, like, I have a cousin, for example, shout out to Alec if he ever hears this. I have a cousin that he's really, really into politics and he does all the deep diving and stuff. I can't do that, but I can find something like this where it's a 9-minute episode every day and he just talks about what's going on. That's easy. Sorry, I had to take a drink of the lucky water. But like something like that is easy. And I said that to say, in his video, he said that the Senate, the House Republicans, obviously they passed the stimulus bill, and in the Senate, the Republicans in the Senate were going to delay the stimulus bill on purpose and make the Democrats read the entire 630-page bill on the Senate floor. And then there was going to be a vote-a-rama session, which can take up to 20 hours. So the reading of the bill was going to take about 10 hours. Then there was going to be a vote-a-rama session, which was going to take about 20 hours. So instead of voting on the bill yesterday, they said it was going to yesterday was Thursday, it was probably going to be delayed not only Friday, but there will be a vote on Saturday. And then later that night, I saw that they already voted on it, and it passed 51-50, and Senator Kamala Harris, or she's not a senator anymore, excuse me, Vice President Kamala Harris, she broke the tie, like, with 51-50. So regardless, I mean, that's stimmy coming. That $1,400 is on the way. So I don't know if you guys have done your taxes. Do your taxes and and get your stimulus check, and we're gonna run up a bag. So I just wanted to say that in current like news, they're saying that it either has passed or it's about to pass. So that's really good for everybody. Like I did in my episode yesterday, 37, about like there's enough money to go around. There is enough money to go around. If you're part of if you are part of the population that feels like it's struggling and you don't know what to do, and there's a lot of people that think the government shouldn't, quote unquote, take care of us. We shouldn't be relying on them. I don't understand what we have the government for if we're not supposed to rely on them. Like, I get that whole don't rely on anybody, go get it yourself. I get that mentality because that's how I am. I don't wait for anything. Like, I'm not waiting on the stimulus, but I'm going to use it if I get it. But at the same time, what do we have the government for if they're not supposed to help me? Well, they make laws and they do this and they do that. Okay, why am I electing you as an official if you're not supposed to hear what I need and then do something about it? Whether that be monetarily, whether that be law related, whether that be anything. I mean, that's why we elected you. Like, if you pitch to me and say, I will help you guys, and then I say, I believe that person, and then I say, yo, I need money to survive, and they're like, it's not what I'm in the government for. What? Okay, so I just stuttered. during next election time, I'll get somebody in there that will do what I need then, whether it be monetarily or otherwise. So I truly don't get that whole, like, there's a whole, how do you even say that? There's a whole thinking or mindset behind, like, why is the government paying people's bills or giving people money? The government has so much money and their duty is to help the people. If the government isn't giving the people money and they're collecting all this money, then what the hell are they doing with it if they're not giving it to us? It's not like they're putting it into infrastructure. They're not fixing the roads. They're not building new trains and what are they doing with it if they're not giving it to us? They're sure as hell giving it to companies. So I truly think, like, if you guys ever go on Twitter, I don't know if you're on Black Twitter or whatever. Sidebar, people really thought that Black Twitter was a different app. Like, people have been, everyone knows what I mean by people. That's all I'm going to say about that. If they were trying to look up Black Twitter on on the different app stores, and they're like, what are people talking about Black Twitter? Black Twitter is just you follow a whole bunch of, like, Black people, and we have, like, our own conversations. There's all different types of Twitter. There's Hispanic Twitter. There's white Twitter. There's Scottish Twitter. Scottish Twitter is hilarious. I don't even understand what they're saying over there. But anyway, I don't even remember where I was going with that. Well, how did I get to Black Twitter? But yeah, if you are ever on Twitter, and I don't know if it's just a Black Twitter thing or where it comes from, but there's a lot of people, and Facebook as well, but there's a lot of people that really, really argue that, like, you guys are relying on the government and like all these negative things about people needing help. But I would just beg the question, what are they supposed to do? What is the government supposed to do if not help their constituents, their people? Like, genuinely, are they there for? To just sit there and look pretty? Like, well, I mean, sure, the president negotiates, like, peace and trade and stuff and all that, but the trade is to, how do I want to put this? So they negotiate trade, right? We call China, we go, you guys have lots of rice. America, we have lots of potatoes. I don't know. I don't even know if we're I don't know what America has. We import everything. But we have lots of potatoes. You guys have lots of rice. We're going to trade you guys because our people want rice. Okay, let's say they do that. And now we have lots of rice and the people can't pay for it. Then why the hell did we just trade for it? So the government needs to make sure that people have money so that they can buy these goods. And then that money goes back into the economy and cycle. I think the people that, that's what I meant to say. I think the people that are saying the government shouldn't help you guys, you need to pick up your bootstraps and get to it and things like that. I think they just need to come out and say what they really think, really feel, and just say that I hate poor people. I just say it. It is what it is. Just, like, even, I think I did a talk about this too. I don't know if I talked about this on the show or with someone else. I'm 95% positive I did it with the show. But yeah, I did. Because when I was talking about Canada. But, so I'm not going to go into a whole thing. That's episode, if this is 38, that should be episode 34 if you want to hear more about what I'm about to talk about. But in Canada, in Canada, there was a man, a carpenter. He was building homes for the homeless, like, just nothing huge. Like, it wasn't homes. I guess that's an exaggeration. He was just building semi-shelters for them. Like, imagine a cardboard box, but it's wood, and it can help you not get wet in the rain, and it can give you some type of warmth if it's insulated correctly. Just some type of warmth, right? He was building these, and they were on quote-unquote public property, the sidewalk. So the government sued him and gave him a cease and desist and said, you can't do that. Can't build homes for the homeless on the street. And he was like, well someone's got to help them. Like, what are you guys doing? And they said, nah, like, you can't do that. Stop it. So why don't they just come out and say, we hate the poor? Like, we're not going to give them money. We're not going to let other people help them. Just say we hate the poor. Like, if you just say you hate the poor. Everyone always like says help your neighbor, help your brother, help your whatever, and then as soon as somebody tries to help, people kick them down and go, why are you helping them? Why would you do that? But that's the society we live in. That is definitely the society we live in. You're damned if you do, damned if you don't. If I go and I help a homeless person, I don't record it, and I'm really, really helping inside my community, and people don't know it, they'll say, yo, you're not doing enough. So to prove that I'm doing enough, even though you have, trust me, you have nothing to prove to anybody, but just listen to my scenario right now. So I'm doing things, people don't know about it. They go, Duron, you're not doing enough. You need to do better. I say, okay. I'm sorry that you guys don't know. I actually feed the homeless every 3 days or every week, whatever. So then I record it and I say, hey, everybody was getting on me saying I'm not doing enough. I've actually been out here the last 32 weeks feeding the homeless. You guys just didn't know. And then one of the homeless people come in the camera and they say, yeah, like this is our man. He's always out here. And then people, they may go to the comments and say, yo, you ain't have to record them, no. Why did you go and record them? You could have did this and you ain't have to tell nobody, blah, blah, blah. And I'll say, well, that's what I was doing. You guys said I wasn't doing enough. And everyone will be like, see, you guys love that social media. Like, you can do things behind closed doors. Everybody needs to be seen, yada, yada, yada. And I'm like, but wait, I was doing this behind closed doors. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. So his wife or his friends at home, whatever, he's probably building like things with his hands in his garage every day. And people said, yo, you got to do more. Like, you could do this for the homeless. He said, all right, bet, I'm on it. Did it. And then the government said, nah, bro, we don't want that. Cut that out. Don't do that. So damned if you do, damned if you don't. I mean, what can you say? What can you say? Here's a bigger example. America, I don't know what the numbers are, but I've seen it before. People always say that because a lot of homes are going into foreclosure, and a lot of those homes end up getting like abandoned. So they say something along the lines of there's like, what, 10, I don't even know. Let me see if I can Google really quick. There's lots of millions of abandoned homes and lots of millions of homeless people. So why doesn't a non-for-profit or some form of, like, why doesn't someone just take those homes and rebuild them or reconstruct them and put homeless people inside them? It's because there's no money in that. And that's the sad reality. People only chase the money. They're not actually out there to help people. If someone said, I will pay you to do this and you can make money to help these people, then someone will go, oh, well, yeah, I'm here to help the people. No, you're here to make the bread. If there's no money in, quote unquote, helping somebody, then nobody does it. And I just had this conversation with my girl yesterday. I don't like that whole, I'm still going to Google this, I promise, but I don't like that whole mentality of, like, just doing it. People, like, for example, the rich, in my opinion, the rich give to charities for a tax break. They don't actually care about helping the people. People help people for money. They don't actually care about helping people. I've said this since I was younger, since I was little. I don't know how I would manage the time, but I would do it. I would do my best to do it. If I ever got rich / get rich and very wealthy, and I just have uber money to just blow, then I've always said I would rather than give to the Boys and Girls Club or give to I don't know different charities. I'm not going to lie to you, because I don't really like charities. I feel like they're obviously made with good intentions, but I don't feel like they do what they're supposed to do. So I don't like them. And that's not to say all of them. There's probably charities that do awesome things that I don't know about. So congrats to you guys. But I've always said that if I get uber wealthy, I would just want to go do the work myself. For example, we've all seen that commercial with the "In the eyes of the angel." They do that for the dogs and for the starving children in Africa. They do that. If you donate 10 cents, you can feed a child in Africa for 2 weeks, or whatever they say. I would rather just, if I'm that wealthy, I would rather just get a cargo ship, get a cargo plane, whatever, fill it with the food, and then go to Africa and hand it out myself. I don't need to record it. I don't need to do all that. I don't care about that. But I'd rather just do it and know that it got there, because I don't trust. I'm not paying somebody. Yo, here's $2 million. Go feed the people. Here's my donation to charity, and then I write it off as a tax break or something. Like, if I'm going to write it off as a tax break, which that only makes sense. I'm not, from an economic and a financial standpoint. If you can save money, then you should save money. I understand why the companies don't pay taxes, or why the people who get away with all these billions of dollars of tax fraud and tax exemptions and stuff, why they do it. Because if you can do it, then you should do it. It's just logic. If I can save $100, then I should save $100. If someone said, yo, here's this TV, 2016, this, and that for $200, and they go, well, I have a 2016, this, and that, same condition for $100, then you should buy the one that's $100. You just should. So if I'm delivering this food to the children in Africa, or the children in it doesn't have to be Africa, because I actually don't like the stereotype of people in Africa. Only people in Africa are starving. There's people starving in London. There's people starving in Germany. Like, there's a lot of European countries that have starving people as well. It's not just Africa, but I only used Africa because I'm trying to help my people. It's no offense to you guys. I mean, y'all should help y'all people too, if you're German or whomever. But regardless of that, I would rather just get on the plane or get on the ship and do the work myself and see, you know what, it got there, I did my part. I'm not smiling in my face because I wrote it, like smiling in the mirror because I wrote a check. Yep, I did $2 million, back to work. That doesn't cut it for me, personally. Oh no. You guys can't see on the audio, but the sun is creeping up. The sun is about to shine in my face and ruin the camera angle, but it is what it is. It's okay. Yeah, I would rather just do the work myself and get in the trenches. If I'm going to say, yo, we should do something about the homeless population, I could give, let's say there's this charity for homeless people, and I'm like, yep, I donated $10 million, I feel good. Or I could go buy the properties. Everyone knows I'm a licensed realtor. I know about real estate. I could go buy the properties, flip them. I could start a non-for-profit, buy them with the company. I would buy the properties with the company name and write that off. But at least it's done correctly, you know what I mean? And then get the people in there, and I know that the work was done because I did it. Rather than say, something should be done about this, I'll donate money. And now I'm sitting here questioning, did they pay themselves with that money? Did they? And I'm not saying that they shouldn't pay themselves. I'm saying that they shouldn't take the whole money. If they're taking the time, then they obviously have to feed their families. You can't just work for free. I wish you could, but that's just not the society we live in. If they're doing all this work to help the homeless population, to help help any charity, like, you know what I mean, they have to have employees that are doing this. They have to have an owner. I get that they need to pay themselves. I get that 1,010%. But there's no reason why someone who runs a not-for-profit should have $6 million or something like that. It doesn't add up to me. That don't add up for me. I have a not-for-profit. My company doesn't make money, but I sure as hell do. I have $6 million plus, or 30 million. You know what I mean? Like, unless it's massive, like you have a charity that you've built over like 40 years or something, it would make sense why you have a lot of money, because you've saved a lot of money and you did blah 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 blah. If you have a charity that's 5 years old and you have $30 million or something, now I don't trust you. You're greasing the books and you're taking all the money and you haven't helped a soul. I know you haven't. Maybe that's because I watch too much movies. Everyone knows I'm a media guy, whatever. I don't trust charities. I don't trust charities. Doesn't sit right with me. Doesn't sit right with me. So I say all that to say, it's already, oh crap, it's 8:17. This is why I like Free Think Fridays. They fly by for me. I didn't know I was talking so long. I don't even know what I've talked about besides charity and Drake. Shout out Drake, Aubrey Graham. Shout out Beyonce Knowles as well. Do I want to go to questions, or do I want to ramble a little bit more? I don't even know. I just, to wrap that up, that conversation up, I was only, the son, Jesus. I was only saying that to say we need to do more. Yes, and we need to do it legally. I get that. If you are building homes on a sidewalk and there's a fire or whatever, that might be an egress type of thing. For those of you that don't know, egress is egress is the ability to like get out of a room or get out of a situation. Like if a house is on fire, there needs to be egress for you to get out. There's a pathway for you to get out. So if I'm building all these wooden homes on a sidewalk and like people are trying to cross the street, there's like no egress if things are happening. There's too many blocks, too many things on the sidewalk blocking pathways. So I mean, I get that, I do. But don't tell the guy, if you don't stop, we're going to arrest you. Tell him, hey, you should run for office. Like we can get you inside, like we can get you a position in the mayor's office or something, so that you can find a way to legally do this. Like the way that we threaten people and we don't put them in a position to help really blows my mind. And I guess I'll wrap it up with that. Bill Gates was the first person that ever like proved to me that was a thing. Bill Gates got hacked, and I believe this was in the 90s. Could have been in the 80s, but 90s was like hacked. Could have even been in the 2000s. I don't remember when exactly this happened, but I remember reading the story as a young kid, and I was like, "This, I'll never forget this." There was someone that hacked Microsoft, and they hacked like a lot of information. And they ended up finding them. Like they asked Bill Gates like what they want to do. They want to charge him on that because normally the companies charge these people. And Bill Gates said, no, let me talk to him. So he talked to him and said, you want a job? And the guy was like, what? And Bill Gates said, we have one of the like best securities in the world and you hacked it in a couple minutes. Do you want to be like the chief of security? Like, do you want a job? Because if you can hack this, then I need you to go to look at our whole system and figure out the loopholes and all this in there. He said that just makes sense. And the guy was like, yeah, I'll take a job. So he didn't get jail time. I think he did have to do like community service and do all this other stuff, but the guy got a job. He wasn't the chief of security. I think I gasped with that. But I think he was just like a regular like cybersecurity guy. He wasn't the chief security officer or anything like that. But putting people in position, like people aren't trying to be bad people. You know what I mean? Like that guy, and he even admitted he hacked it just to see if he could. Like he wasn't trying to steal credit cards and do this. And people at Google, like now, Bill Gates is the reason why there's competitions for that now. Tesla has a competition every year where they give millions of dollars if you can hack their computer their computer software that goes in their cars. They will give you millions of dollars if you can hack it. Same thing with Google. Google right now on their website, if you find something wrong with their websites and you hack it and you tell them I hacked this and this is how I did it, they'll give you millions of dollars. Millions. And that's not a lie. Look it up. And they have like Google has actually posted things now like, yo, if you can hack this, we'll give you 10,000. If you can hack this, we'll give you 100,000. If you can hack this, we'll give you 1,000,000. Because they want to know what's wrong with their stuff. And that all started with Bill Gates. So to wrap that up, what I'm just getting at is, if you put people in a position to solve the issue that they have quote unquote created, it will make things like much easier. If someone, and that obviously doesn't go for everything. If someone robs a bank and they just did it with brute force and they just started shooting everywhere, I mean, I do think that we should do rehabilitation instead of trying to like just immediately incarcerate these people and go, you're a bad person, you did this. You should talk to them and say, why did you rob the bank? They'll probably tell you, my son needed insulin or someone has cancer and I'm trying to pay their bills and I just can't. Like the bigger issue is the money, not the fact that he's a bad person. He's like, yo, I'm trying to save my son. And obviously that deals with ethics and a whole bunch of other stuff, but I mean, to me that's just life. Like that's real life. Most people don't just commit crimes just to commit crimes. People like the whole thing going on with New Jersey and weed right now. Like New Jersey is about to expunge a whole bunch of people's marijuana incarceration records because now it's legal. you guys arrested these people for trying to put foods on their plate, and now you guys are saying that Joe Schmo, who opened up a LLC, can sell it in his store, and he doesn't go to jail. So then why are there 2 million plus people in these jail cells? But I'll wrap it up there. I think today this one was a lot of a ramble, just trying to figure out some numbers. This is what I'll say. This one wasn't like my best one where I blew my own mind, but this is the stuff that I do on like a daily basis. Everyone says, how do you know all these numbers? How do you know so many stats? This is what I do on a daily basis. I have a question and I do as much research about it as I can. Does Drake have a Diamond album? No, he doesn't. So who does then? And that's how I end up finding out. And that's all it is. And now next time someone asks me, I'll say, as of March 1st, 2017, there are 22 artists with more than one Diamond album. As of October 2020, Garth Brooks has the most Diamond albums. He has 9. That's how I know these things. And people are like, yo, you know a lot of numbers and know a lot of stuff. This is all I do all day. Look up numbers. If that's what I do when I'm bored. I go find out more information. It's impossible to know everything. So there's always going to be something for me to know. All right, I'll see if there's any questions or any topics anybody wants me to cover for these last 5 to 6 minutes. If not, I will go and enjoy my Friday, and I want you guys to go live it up and enjoy yours as well. I'll give it like 5 more seconds. All right, if there are no questions, it is Friday. I'm taking my mom on a date today. I told her I was going to take her out. I will see you guys here Monday. What would that be? March 9th, 6th, March 8th. I'll see you guys here Monday, March 8th. Today is also my payday, so I'm hyped. I'll see you guys here 7:30, March 8th. Peace.